and welcome. My name is Zafar Iqbal and you are watching the Mojo Story. Day 2 of the Congress convention in Raipur, close on the heels of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Congress leader Sonia Gandhi hinted at her retirement from politics. In the plenary meeting of the Congress Party conclave, which was attended by 15,000 delegates, Sonia Gandhi said, "What gratifies me most is that my innings could conclude with the Bharat Jodo Yatra." She said the Yatra has come as a turning point for the Congress Party. Now, Bharat Jodo Yatra, a foot march led by Rahul Gandhi, crossing the length of the country, concluded in Kashmir last month. The Yatra was an effort to revive the party and to reverse its dwindling graph. Uh, so clearly hitting out at the BJP, Sonia Gandhi also said the Prime Minister and BJP RSS regime has captured and subverted every single institution. Mallikarjun Kharge also spoke. He said the DNA of those sitting in Delhi is anti-poor and they are attempting to destroy democracy, as he called for people's movement against the prevailing situation in the country. To discuss this, we're joined by an eminent panel. We're joined by Sanjay Jha from the Congress. We're also joined by PKD Nambiar, who's a political analyst. We're also joined by Javed Ansari, a senior journalist, and we'll also be joined by a representative of the BJP. Javed Sahab, if I may start with you, is this a clear message from Sonia Gandhi that she's retiring from politics, perhaps?
Well, I won't be surprised if she does because she's had a long and distinguished innings and appears to have reached the end of the road in the sense that, she also has some health issues. And
Right.
now, having helmed the Congress party for close to 25 years,
Yeah.
there's not much more that she can do. The mantle has clearly passed to others. She she may not retiring from politics in the sense that she may not contest the next Lok
Yeah.
Sabha elections, may not be a member of parliament, but she
Yeah.
will uh, continue to be a very influential figure in the Congress party. May not be involved
Yeah.
in the day-to-day running of the party anymore,
Yeah.
but certainly on occasions like this when there is an IICC, or even for that matter, they are amending the constitution, making all Congress former Congress presidents permanent
Yeah.
members of the working committee. So she'll be there, and if her advice is sought, I'm sure it will be forthcoming.
Right. Let's hear what exactly she said before we go to our other panelists.
But what gratifies me most is that my innings could conclude with the Bharat Jodo Yatra. The Yatra has come as a turning point. It has proved that the people of India overwhelmingly want harmony, tolerance, and equality. It has renewed the rich legacy of dialogue between our party and the people through mass contact programs. It has shown us all that the Congress stands with the people and is ready to fight for them.
Yatra has been a turning point. Sanjay Jha, would you agree? It's created a significant impact on the ground, and will it help in the revival of the party?
Uh, Zafar Bhai, I do think it is a very milestone event where the Congress party is concerned.
Yeah.
After several, pretty wretched defeats at the hands of the BJP in state elections as well as in the two general elections, uh, it is pretty apparent that the cadres are feeling more motivated. Rahul Gandhi's own personal and political reputation has been enhanced. So
Yeah.
all these are, huge. I would say, as tailwinds for both the party and one of its more acknowledged leaders. It will really prove to be, in my opinion, a fundamental asset or a turning point if they now leverage it electorally, because eventually, the call for bringing India together, putting an end to sectarian politics, uh, fighting against communal polarization, all that I think is absolutely correct, because India is ultimately a secular democracy. And therefore I think the Congress has taken the right mantle to take on the BJP. But bottom line in politics, you got to be able to convert the goodwill and the what has been a very spontaneous support for the Bharat Jodo Yatra into numbers in the EVM or the ballot box. If the Congress over the coming few months, because you got the Karnataka election coming up, you'll have the results for some Northeast elections in another few days. But I think Karnataka will define if the Congress has been able to basically capitalize on the support that has emerged for it during the yatra. Karnataka, in my opinion, and I was there a couple of days ago, looks like a fairly advantage Congress situation. Are they able to really consolidate that and make sure that it is won in a significant triumph? That time will prove. But in one simple line, Zafar Bhai, to answer your question, yes, it is definitely a marker for the Congress. Can the Congress convert it into a significant, I would say, moment for India in its fight back against a very authoritarian communal regime? That is really going to be its biggest challenge.
Can the Congress convert it, electorally? It's a big question and a big, challenge for the Congress. Of course, they have built the momentum with the Bharat Jodo Yatra, but how are they going to take it forward, PKD?
Well, Congress challenges are manifold. It is not just one very simple winning an election. Congress challenges are the leadership. There was a time, if you really recall, few years ago, we used to say
Yeah,
that Congress has got one of the youngest leadership, a very large number of leaders,
yeah,
and where is the leadership of such for the BJP? But
yeah,
things have changed completely, drastically over the last few years. That whereas Congress is losing its leadership in not only at the national level, even at the state level in many places. And wherever they are little significant, maybe for an
yeah.
example, as Sanjay said, in Karnataka, for an example, as an organization, it is strong. It has got a potential to get back to the power. But the infighting in Congress there is both Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. It's a publicly known fact that there is a major fight going on. Then there is another thing which is going to hurt the Congress the most is going to be that opposition unity. We heard that in Tripura or in Nagaland. I'm just missing the exact the state. Congress, Rahul Gandhi was attacking the Mamta there. Same is in the case of in the Kerala. If you really straight away go, there is the left and the Congress is absolutely on a different path altogether. Yesterday, we have seen that Aam Aadmi Party chief is going and meeting Uddhav, and Telangana, the people are. So, in a way, I would Congress today is not in that state where it can look forward to 2024 on its own. It requires a large number of partners. But the problem today is that in most of the states, except the very few states, Congress is either a B or a C partner, even in an alliance. Wherein Congress do not have that kind of might what it had in the past. So I think all these plenary sessions, all these discussions are just getting limited to these panel discussions, not converting into votes. So that's going to be a biggest challenge for the Congress. And I feel today, even we are discussing, even in your shows, you are talking about only the Sonia Gandhi. We don't even discuss about the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. So I think Congress is in an existential crisis. It has got a leadership crisis. It also is losing creativity and ideas. Because I always say, when you are in an opposition, is the right time for a political party to try attack, because you don't have anything to lose. You can just go on. But unfortunately, Congress, despite 4,000 kilometers of walking by Rahul Gandhi, and I don't know how many politicians today have the stamina to walk that much, but he's still not considered as a real political leader. He's still considered as a casual leader, or else not somebody who will be able to take on to the mighty Modi. So I think there is a gap
Right.
between the Modi and the BJP and the Congress is an 80-20. I think Congress needs much more time to maybe to come back.
That's a very important point, that it lacks ideas. We saw a glimpse of that today. A good part of Sonia Gandhi's speech was attacking the BJP, rather than talking about its own narrative, its own original ideas, Javed Saab?
Fine. Either they lack ideas, or this the speaker just before me said that they should attack. So she just did precisely that. It's not the opposition's job to lap up uh, uh, what the government is doing, and
Yeah,
the government has a lot to answer for. Look, there are some people who the Congress party will never be able to win over. So they
yeah,
should forget about. The effort is to win over the middle class, the neutral voters who have temporarily switched over to the BJP. And that's what the Congress needs to focus. Between now and the day when the votes are cast, the Congress has to relentlessly battle for every inch of the grass on the field. That's what they need to do. They need to be able, the key to opposition getting the better of the BJP in 2024 is that in a maximum number of seats, there has to be a one to one. What was the key to success in VP Singh upstaging the Congress? One of the main issues was that he managed to bring this disparate group together and managed to put up a one-to-one against the Congress party in a very large number of seats. So that I do believe will happen, but not but not to the extent that would be ideal. So there will be multiple. There will be Congress will be in the fray, as will be KCR in 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 Andhra Pradesh. Similarly, in Delhi and Punjab, it will be the Congress, the AAP, and the BJP which will be fighting. In
yeah.
other states, yes, the Congress will be willing to do business, and because let's face it, there is no other option. What is the option that other political parties that the opposition has? No opposition party on its alone is in a position to take on the BJP. If they
Right.
band together, if they show the kind of vision and sense of accommodation, they might be in a position to pull their weight. They might be in a position to make a match of it. If they don't, then it's over the bar shouting.
There is no other option but to come together, as they say, like-minded parties. But there is one point, Sanjay Jha. Last time when the Bharat Jodo Yatra concluded in Kashmir, Jairam Ramesh gave a press conference. He said that the fulcrum of that coalition has to be the Congress party. Isn't that putting a precondition there?
Zafar Bhai, I think Jairam was basically speaking a truth that I think even the opposition parties recognize. I think, as Javed clearly mentioned, if you look at the math of India's elections, the Congress is really the real fulcrum or the linchpin of an opposition unity. One is because
Yeah.
of his pan India presence, his historical track record, and the fact that even when it gets 44 and 52 seats in the Lok Sabha, it comes second in over 200 seats. So, it's a question of how the Congress is able to galvanize its cadres to fight a real, aggressive battle. Now, one data that is very often quoted in all these panel discussions, which is, again, I think a very valid point, is the fact
Yeah.
that the Congress and BJP really have a contest in roughly 200 seats. So, effectively, if the Congress were to get 50% of them, say if the Congress gets 100, the BJP will be not able to form a government. It's as simple as that. And if the Congress doesn't get 50% of the seats, even after two failed attempts in general elections, that will be a very poor commentary on the party, especially now that people are talking about a rejuvenation at the ground level. The one point that I do wish to throw up on the panel today, and I said it around a month ago, and I said it then with full responsibility, not as a rhetorical flourish, that the Adani issue is going to be the big unifier for all opposition parties. And I can tell you, being a former banker, I know the numbers. Can you imagine in any country of the world an industrialist or a businessman who's close to the most powerful politician and a prime minister or a president in some other part of the world, whose valuations are knocked off by $140 billion in a month, where his own personal valuation is down from being the second richest man in the world to the 27th, where there are allegations of corruption, accounting frauds, and the markets are delivering. Yeah, I mean, the point, Zafar, that we need to acknowledge, I heard Jaishankar's interview, the external affairs minister, and he was
Yeah.
talking such balderdash. It was such pathetic gibberish. It was laughable. I mean, how can there is a Hindenburg report? George Soros makes a comment, and the BJP is saying this is a foreign conspiracy. I mean, you can't make such ridiculous statements.
Right.
Trying to arrest Pawan Khera, doing an income tax raid on the BBC. These are manifestations of panic. And I can tell you on the Adani issue, it's not just an urban stock market issue. It's about corruption. It's about cronyism. It's about, collapse of governance, not just corporate malfeasance. It's about political
Mm.
collusion. Most importantly, this damages Narendra Modi, because I don't think this has got to do even with the BJP. Mr. Adani has grown because he's got the patronage of the most powerful man in
Right.
India. So I think once this imagery is cracking, one can sense it. And I talk to a cross section of people. I can tell you, I have a strong feeling that middle class India is already turning away from the BJP, because
Right.
nobody likes to see a first among equals. So if all political parties today decide and they go to town for the next 6 months on Adani issue and ask the government to explain, and this is without even mentioning the SBI and the LIC
Right.
role, it's a sector where ordinary taxpayers are
So,
involved.
so, so,
I
so, so,
see,
so,
I see a definite pressure on the BJP and Mr. Modi.
PKD, do you think Adani issue is such a big issue that all the parties can come together and corner the government and may in fact act as a catalyst for a possible coalition in the future?
Definitely no. Now I'll tell you the reason. If at all,
Yeah.
if I go by whatever my friend Sanjay ji said, even if
Yeah.
it has got some kind of a merit, let's accept that even if there is a merit for a minute, just for the discussion purpose.
Yeah.
If if the Adani issue will not be taken up, the reason because of one reason, all the opposition party, all the chief ministers have some or the other kind of a relationship they have with Adani in their last 20 years of growth. Whether it is Pinarayi Vijayan from the left, Mamta Banerjee on the left-driven Congress, TMC, Telangana, the even the Tamil Nadu chief minister, to everyone, Chhattisgarh, Ashok Gehlot. So the BJP has got so much of an ammunition. If at all, if the Congress or the opposition parties try to use it, just look at the very fundamental. The Modi government has done a very smart thing. If at all, if there was any kind of a truth about that Modi is supporting Adani,
Yeah.
imagine that they allowed the market to function very freely. Why are we discussing it today? Is that the $112 billion has come down. He had gone from second number to the 27th number because the government didn't interfere in the market. So, in other words, it sends a very positive message into the internationally and also to the domestically the corporate. If you have done something wrong, there are agencies who will look after you. We are not going to protect you. If the government did not even utter a word to protect Adani, at least not even interfered in the market at all, that sends the real message. Now I'll come to the next part of it. Since we are discussing about the Congress. Now the challenge is that we all accept. Even Javed Saab also said that the Congress needs the partners. Do you think that to have some kind of a partners, he was talking about the 90s of the VP Singh and other people. Imagine the politics of 90s is not there anymore. It is
Yeah.
not anymore Mandal Commission time. It is
Yeah.
not anymore that the typical caste or the religion
Okay.
works anymore in the Indian politics. I
Yeah.
think Congress, I am always I'm a strong supporter of this government and also to the ideology of BJP. But I always believe that we need to have a strong opposition. That is very, very important for a country to thrive. Unless and until you don't have a strong opposition, it will not. But
Right.
will
Right.
Congress be able to lead that opposition and take everybody together? No way. Aam Aadmi
Oh.
Party has very categorically said that they will not be ready to. He feels. Just look at that. Arvind Kejriwal feels he is the prime ministerial candidate. Mamta Banerjee feels he is the prime ministerial candidate.
Okay.
Nitish Kumar
Let
and
let let let
very
Javed Saab let Javed Saab respond before let Javed Saab come in. Then I'll go to you, Sanjay ji.
Two issues. One, I didn't say that the Congress alone needs allies. I said the entire opposition, all the
Right.
opposition parties need each other.
Right.
Two, As far as this business of one not accepting the other, this is common. This happens when a large number of political parties have to come together. This is the story that unfolded in the lead up to the formation of the Janata Party and then the Janata Party government. Then again in the lead up to the formation of Janata Dal, and then the formation of the government thereafter. So this is not uncommon. There's also the question of there is no leader, no viable leader whom the opposition can project in 2000, as recent as 2004. Manmohan Singh, Dr. Manmohan Singh was not projected. Votes were not cast in his name. Were not asked for in his name as prime ministerial candidate. Yet the UPA went on to not just defeat the government but also form the next government. So a lot of things, and a lot of things will change, and a lot of things will fall into place as we come closer to the elections.
Right.
A lot of the formations that you see,
Right.
there will be changes
Obviously,
in this year.
obviously, there's still a lot of time left. But Sanjay Jha, you want to come in and respond?
Yeah, Zafar Bhai, just a short point on the Adani
Yeah.
issue. I
Yeah.
think Piketty is wrong when he says that the state governments of different parties are involved with Mr. Adani. Let me tell you, there's a big difference between the kind of concessions that the central government has given him in acquiring projects and the way
Yeah.
the tenders and all the terms were changed. As far as the state governments are concerned, if they have done something wrong, if they've done a quid pro quo, investigate it. The issues here are to do with Mr. Modi and the BJP. Let's not try and divert that. And the second point, which is very, very important, that
Yeah.
where the Adani issue is concerned, this has now got global attention. It is going to have an impact on the general perception of India as a place to invest in. You can see how the entire BJP and, I think PKD said, the markets have been allowed to function. Oh my God, you're not doing a favor, PKD. You think Mr. Modi's government can try and bail out Mr. Adani through some kind of an artifice in the market? You can't. You'll destroy India's capital markets. They're not doing any favor. They cannot do anything. That is the truth. Today, the government has to explain where was the Ministry of Finance, where was SEBI, where was RBI, where was the Director of Revenue Intelligence or Department of Revenue Intelligence. This has been a complete systemic collapse, and I'm telling you right now, this is the biggest. If there is a proper and fair investigation, not some Supreme Court committee looking at procedures that was used as a subterfuge to bail out on the Rafale deal, if there's a proper forensic investigation, I'm predicting with full responsibility, this is going to be proven as one of the biggest scams, if not the biggest scam since 1947, running into lakhs of crores of assets that were very conveniently transferred to one owner who didn't have to create anything. He just kept buying them out. You buy airports, you buy cement companies. It's like, it's like a circus. It's like a walk in the park. I mean, overnight, a man with zero experience in airports becomes the biggest airport operator. A man with zero experience in cements becomes the biggest cement maker. I can understand you have money to buy. Where did the money come from? And then the whole issue of tax havens. So I'm going to tell you that Mr. Modi and the BJP are nervous as hell. And I may be jumping the gun, but I do feel this just could be, if the opposition plays this game well, could be the beginning of the end.
PKD, at the time of Rafale, those, Chokidar, Chor hand, all that, that didn't really work. Do you think that this time the issue of Adani, Hindenburg will work for the Congress party? Rahul Gandhi raised this issue in the parliament. Will he be able to sustain that narrative, and will the party go all out and hold on to this issue till the elections?
Now, I will not go to the Adani again. The reason being, let's talk
Yeah.
stick to the topic.
Yeah.
I'll have a
Yes.
reason for it.
Yeah.
We say in my business, we call about that it's everything happens in the marketplace. Today's politics is also a marketplace. Different players are there, different competitions are, different ideas are kept in the market to buy for the average voter
Yeah.
who is a consumer from that point of view. Now look at that. Who are you competing with? You're competing with the mighty Narendra Modi. We all can have that hope that, oh yes, no, things have happened in the past. Even Indira Gandhi lost. Even the Janata VP Singh came in. They were all in the different time. Today we live in the era of social media, and Modi's governance is a visible change. It happens. People whether it is a UPI, whether it is an infrastructure development, whether and the least corruption charges in the last 9 years. So his model of governance, his model of marketing, his model of communication, when you are fighting with that Narendra Modi, the बहुत ज़्यादा फीका पड़ता है कि whether it is Rahul Gandhi, instead of 4,000 kilometers, even if we walk for 40,000 kilometers, it won't take more than 24 hours for Mr. Narendra Modi to turn it around that into his favor. Now a Pavan Khera will get up or somebody else will get up. So we always have to understand in a marketplace with whom are you competing with. And as a former banker, he knows that Sanjay ji knows very well that when you are competing with another banker, and if he is a true leader and a pioneer in doing few things, then it is very difficult for the others to come in. So I think that's a thumb rule works here as well. So I think the challenge of 2024 is very simple for the opposition. When will they be able to? There is I have written an article 3-4 years back that who will bell the cat. The cat is all out everywhere. If it is 24 hours, you switch on the TV in the morning, you can see a working prime minister. While you go to sleep at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, you can see a prime minister at work. Now you may hate him, you may not like him, you may not like whatever he is doing, but he is not only just announcing a project, but he is also inaugurating a project irrespective of the time. You are seeing somebody who is working tirelessly. He is a person who is able to communicate with the youngest, 13-year-old to the 70-year-old. So I think the Congress, as I said initially, needs to really work creatively. Not दाढ़ी बनाने से कुछ नहीं होगा, तो दाढ़ी बनाकर दूसरे ने ऑलरेडी छोड़ चुका है. अब आप नया दाढ़ी बनाओगे, आप दौड़ने से आपको you may become a health ambassador or something else. So I think the Congress needs to really work hard once again, attack on policies, not on individual. Anything whatever. I'm just giving a piece of advice as a marketeer and a
You know,
marketing expert. That
you know,
Modi,
yeah.
attack on his policies. If you are able to do that, then there may be some scope. Otherwise, I must tell you, 2024, the road to 2024 is very clean and clear for Narendra Modi to come back. And the opposition unity, as I said, who will bell the cat. There are so many people are there.
Okay.
और सब लोगों ने कपड़ा बना के रखा हुआ है कि मैं प्रधानमंत्री बनूंगा. मुझे नहीं लगता है कि अभी वैकेंसी अवेलेबल है.
Javed sir, the point that PKD is making that there is no competition here between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi walked all those thousands of kilometers through the length of the country for his Bharat Jodo Yatra, and he raised the Adani issue. Has Rahul Gandhi propelled as a stronger and bigger leader at the national level who can take on Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
See, you mentioned Mr. PKD. PKD in his presentation confessed that he's a marketeer. He's not done. So as far as he's concerned, in his mind, it's already a closed chapter. There is,
Yeah.
if we're left to him, there's no point in having an election because he's already declared and anointed Mr. Narendra Modi as the next Prime Minister of India. That may probably be the case, but in my view, and I do believe that in Sanjay Ji's view as well, we'd like to wait for 2024. I've seen a lot of things change. Yes, he also mentioned the fact that whenever you switch on the television, all you see is one man, Mr. Narendra Modi. That's the power of when you occupy the bully pulpit, and when you are the bully, that's the power. We all of the two of us, you and me, are from this industry, and we know how it's working and how things are working, and what is the reason why it's only him who gets all the coverage and others don't. But that's
Okay.
besides the point. As far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, yes, he's done his image a lot of good. It's worked for the good, but this is not enough. They have a mountain to climb. They need to take this to every corner of the country. They need to be able to get allies together. They need to be able to fashion a narrative, and they need to get their organization in place, because elections are won and lost. Organizations play nowadays, and organizations play a very large role. There is very little time, or they can hope to do what the Janata Party did and what the Janata Party did, that even in the absence of an organization, they created so much of public opinion against the government that people just on their own violation went and voted against that. As of
Right.
now, they are at base camp. They need to move very fast if they want to achieve that end.
Sanjay, I know you want to come in, but I wanted to ask you one question. Congress has been talking about democracy, but why is it that no elections and the president will nominate members for the Congress Working Committee? Isn't there a contradiction there?
Sir, can I,
Uh,
before Sanjay, 1 minute.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which other party elects a president and has an election for a Congress Working Committee? At least Mr. Kharge was elected. The party that Namyaji publicly confessed to being a huge supporter of. They, when is the last time they had an election? Can he, on their behalf, tell us that in our lifetime will there ever be an election for their president?
Okay. Let Sanjay Ja come in, and then we'll have last word to PK. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Javed Bhai has answered that question. Yes, the Congress ought to have elections for some positions while the rest can be nominated, because there is talent and maybe everybody would not like to contest it, and that's an internal call that the Congress party has to take. But I
Yeah.
do believe, Zafar Bhai, that if you follow the political history of all democracies all over the world, there are no permanent winners in politics, there are no permanent losers in politics. And whenever a government or a political party is so drunk in its arrogance and the intoxication of power, I can predict here right now that doomsday is near. And the panic buttons have been pressed. You can see the symptoms of that already. Why would the BJP go and arrest a Pawan Khera? Why would you go ahead and call Hindenburg a foreign conspiracy? Why would you make a big hullabaloo on George Soros? Clearly, there is something that Mr. Modi and his government know that we don't. And the one thing that Mr. Modi has to be credited for is political instinct. Because let me tell you, you cannot predict the mood of the people sitting in Delhi. And India is a diverse country. For example, no matter what the BJP does, it's never going to win Kerala and Tamil Nadu. It's probably not going to win Telangana either, not Andhra, and probably is losing Karnataka as we talk. So, West Bengal, it has already been defeated. It's not there in Odisha. It has, by the way, doesn't even have the same footprint in Bihar at the moment. Things change. And I think we are just kind of being very naive in believing that Mr. Modi is impregnable and, he can be in perpetuity as the prime minister. I do believe that arrogance actually is a good news for the opposition. The more the BJP believes, the more Mr. Nambiar says that Mr. Modi is, absolutely impregnable. That is the good news. But I can tell you, Mr. Modi is a worried man. And the signs that the BJP is at the moment extremely concerned is obvious in the steps it is taking to quash the freedom of expression in India.
PK, last word to you.
Yeah, I'm amused one way. So on the one side that I never challenge because I travel quite a lot in the public, speak to people. In fact, I was in Kerala and in the Udupi, Mangalore, and all these belt in the Karnataka election as just to do my own research and etc. As a political analyst and a strategist, and which is also my profession in a way. One thing I'll tell you, if you really ask, one beautiful thing today is that people know about our prime minister very, very detailed. To the last man, it was not the case just to that our last prime minister. So it was not even in the case of BPC. It was not even in the case with Narasimha Rao. Today, if there are 140 crore people in this country, they all recognize one face, which is the large face in the country, that is called as Narendra Modi. So just
Right.
don't undermine the power of a brand, which is very, very strong as of now. Politically, maybe as I admit, because of course, Javed Bhai is one of the very senior most person. He had seen much more than all of us. But one thing I'll tell you, sir, the problem is the times have changed. So as the environment in which we live in has changed, everybody is aware of everything. And the most important part is that today, when I was coming from in a flight in the afternoon, on my left there was a lady who was flying for the first time. She is from Uttarakhand. Well, the idea of she said her daughter wanted her to take the first flight. Unfortunately, they could not sit together. She was with me. You know what? I asked her that just out of curiosity. This is just for the food for thought. She is 75 years old, 73 years old. She said, "सब कुछ तो हो रहा है, ठीक हो रहा है," and she lives in Kashipur in Uttarakhand. She said, सब कुछ तो ठीक हो रहा है, मोदी जी कर तो रहे, बाकी और करेगा कौन? So the idea is that Modi may not be everything in this world. He may not be the God, but the problem is that who else?
Okay. Right.
Zafar Bhai, give me 50
Sanjay,
seconds.
quickly. Yeah, quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
No, let's not give these anecdotal examples to just kind of build a narrative. You can't do that, Piki Day. Let me tell you, go and ask the families of the 2 Muslim men who have been murdered in Haryana.
That is
Go and
where the
ask their
problem.
families. Go and ask their families and hear what they have to say about Mr. Modi and the BJP. That is also a story, boss. You can't do
Yes.
this. You can't do this to your own fellow citizens. It's a bigger
Okay.
story.
Javed Sahab, quickly before we wrap up. Yeah. Javed Sahab.
In which the way police acts. Pawan Khera, for a slip of the tongue, the police flies all the way from Assam and pulls him off an aircraft. Here, there is a Mahapanchayat which says anybody who comes to arrest Monu Panesar will be lynched. And this is just 40 kilometers from Delhi, and nothing happens.
Okay.
This is the kind of justice.
That's all the time we have on the show. Thanks to all our panelists for joining us today, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.